Hello, and welcome to Sly and Pine VGC. I'm Sly Abby.
And I'm Josh.
And today we're analyzing our San Diego Regionals team. We'll cover our team building process, what we did right, and what we would change.
We started with the idea of running two strong cores that synergize well together. Annihilape, Maushold, and Armarouge Indeedee fit this bill. The two damage dealers, Annihilape and Armarouge, cover each other's weaknesses very well, and both benefit from having a second redirector once the first redirector paired with them dies. Vaporeon and Meowscarada help with some of these teams' greatest threats like Dondozo, Garchomp, and Hydreigon.
Now it's time to take a look at each Pokemon individually. First up, we have Annihilape. For the moves, we gave it Rage Fist because of the insane damage it can do after it takes a few hits. Drain Punch helps cover the dark and normal types that Rage Fist struggles to hit, as well as healing up Annihilape. Bulk Up is good into physical attackers, as well as punishes passive plays, and Protect is just a solid move in doubles. We gave it Citrus Berry over Leftovers, because we gave Leftovers to Vaporeon, and also I just think Citrus Berry is the right move for Annihilape. Oftentimes, the opponent will try and double target Annihilape to get it off the board as soon as possible, and Citrus Berry helps Annihilape survive that. For the Terra type, there was a debate between Terra Fire and Terra Steel. Ultimately, we chose Terra Steel for two reasons. The first is that we have tons of redirect, so we could just redirect any Will-O-Wisps away from Annihilape. The second is that it gives important flying and psychic resistances to Annihilape. We chose Vital Spirit over Defiant because of the popularity of Amoonguss. For EVs, we gave this a lot of bulk. We wanted it to be able to survive hits. We didn't give it as much into attack because Rage Fist can just deal so much damage that it doesn't need the extra attack. For speed, we gave it a little bit of speed just to outspeed other Annihilapes, as well as outspeed most of the meta at -1 speed.
Next, let's talk about Annihilape's premier partner, Maushold. We're running a supportive set. Its first move, Beat Up, is a low damage multi-hit move, and in a single turn it can boost Annihilape's Rage Fist's base power by up to 200. Follow Me is an excellent move for keeping Annihilape alive, so Annihilape can keep throwing out high damage Rage Fists as long as possible. Feint has a priority move that is really good at finishing off 1 HP Pokemon that have had their Focus Sash consumed by Rage Fist, such as Meowscarada or Lycanroc. And finally, Protect is just an excellent move in general in doubles. For its item, we gave Maushold Rocky Helmet in order to break Focus Sash on Pokemon like Meowscarada and Lycanroc that can be redirected with Follow Me, and also to demolish other Mausholds that are running Population Bomb, because they will die before a Maushold does due to its high defenses. Its Terra type is Ghost in order to grant immunity to Fighting and to Fake Out, Fighting being the only type that can hit Maushold super effectively pre-Terra. Its ability, Friend Guard, is an amazing supportive ability that allows Annihilape to just keep taking hits, especially on that crucial first turn where we're using Beat Up, so it can survive long enough to get those oh-so-important Rage Fists off. As for its EVs, we gave this thing insane defenses, with a little bit more physical defense than special to survive things such as close combat from Lycanroc with a decent amount of HP remaining, and Meowscarada's Flower Trick. Notably, we did not give Maushold any speed investment whatsoever. None of its moves require it, and we intentionally chose moves that did not require speed so we could make our Maushold as bulky as possible. It's more important to survive a hit, we figured, with Follow Me, than to be able to attack slightly before the opponent with moves that aren't going to wipe opponents off the board anyway.
Next up, we have Armarouge. For its moveset, we gave it Expanding Force, which is a super powerful spread move in Psychic Terrain. Armarouge is currently the only Pokemon who has Expanding Force in Gen 9, and not many Pokemon can withstand one of these. Next up we have Armor Cannon, which is a super powerful stab fire move that is good into Pokemon that are weak to fire or resist Psychic. And we gave it Aura Sphere, mostly just to hit Hydreigon, who is super popular this generation. And Protect, like we've said before, is just a good move in doubles. For its item, we gave it Life Orb, because we wanted just to max out the damage that this thing does. And for its Terra type, we chose Dark, because Dark resists the Dark and Ghost types that normally threaten Armarouge. Flash Fire is a solid ability, especially into Pokemon like Torkoal. For its EVs, we wanted this to be a fast special attacker. We cranked that special attack up to the max, and we put a lot more speed into it than people normally do, because we wanted to outspeed the standard bulky Annihilape build, as well as outspeeding most meta threats at -1 speed. And then we put the rest of our EVs into defenses.
Next we have Indeedee Female, the main support for our Glass Cannon Armarouge. Its first and most important move is Follow Me, which allows it to redirect damage away from our squishy Armarouge and to its tanky self. Even though this thing is very tanky, Psychic does very high damage due to Stab plus Psychic Terrain boost, and in fact can one-shot Hariyama before Trick Room can go off. Helping Hand is excellent for adding just a little bit more damage when needed to Armarouge and Annihilape, and Protect is just a fantastic move in doubles in general. As for its item, we gave it Psychic Seed to make this Pokemon as tanky as possible, while also having the side effect of denying the 50% damage boost on the common move Knockoff. Indeedee-F has an amazing defensive typing in normal Psychic, which has only 2 weaknesses, Bug and Dark, and Terra Fairy has perfect synergy with normal Psychic because it resists both Bug and Dark. Psychic Surge is of course its ability to set Psychic Terrain for Armarouge and to block priority moves in general like Aqua Jet and Fake Out. As for its EVs, we wanted this Pokemon to be as tanky as possible, so we maxed out its HP and then maxed out its defense as well. We put the remaining 4 EVs in special defense to knock it up to an even number for the maximum benefit from Psychic Seed, making this Pokemon very tanky into both physical and special attacks. Indeedee works very well with all of the main damage dealers on this team, Armarouge, Meowscarada, and of course Annihilape.
Next up we have Meowscarada, who deals with a lot of threatening Pokemon that the rest of our team can't handle as well. Its speed means that it can outspeed most threats and kill them before they can threaten our Pokemon. For its moveset, we gave it its signature move Flower Trick, which is a strong stab grass move that always crits. Because it always crits, that means it goes through the defense boost that Dondozo gets from Commander. Next up we have Knockoff, which is a strong stab dark move. It has the added effect of getting rid of the item that enemy Pokemon are holding. This move is great because it can one-shot enemy Goldengos. Next up we have Play Rough to deal with threats like Garchomp and Hydreigon. This move was critical to our team. I cannot stress how much that fairy coverage has benefited our team. And finally, U-Turn allows us to pivot out Meowscarada into other Pokemon, and it can also threaten other Meowscaradas. For its item, we gave it Choice Band, which allows it to deal insane damage. And we gave it Terra Grass, so its Flower Trick can deal even more damage. And Protein makes sure each move is stab, so it just increases the damage even more, and it stacks with Choice Band, and it's also good defensively to get rid of Meowscarada's bad defensive typing. Its EVs are pretty standard for Meowscarada. We've got max speed with a speed boosting nature and max attack. This allows it to go first and kill a lot of Pokemon.
Did you know, in terms of Pokemon on our team, Vaporeon fills a very pivotal role. As for its first move, we wanted a strong stab option, and since it doesn't get Scald anymore, Muddy Water is the best option in that slot. Icy Wind is excellent because we have teched out our Vaporeon so it always two-shots Garchomp, and it also brings Garchomp and anything slower than Garchomp, which is most of the meta, to a speed that is slower than our Armarouge and our Annihilape. Haze is excellent for removing the Omni Boost from Dondozo, and Protect is good in general in doubles, but here has the added effect of allowing for Leftover Stall. As for its item, we gave it Leftovers in order to keep it alive in combo with its high defenses. And for its Terra type, we gave it Terra Grass, because Grass resists both of the types that Water is weak to, which are Electric and Grass, and also gives us ground resistance, which is useful into things like Earthquake, because our only other resistance to ground is the squishy Meowscarada. Its ability Water Absorb isn't the strongest, but did come up sometimes, and is better than Hydration, its only other option. As for its EVs, we wanted this Pokemon to be very bulky, so we gave it as many defense EVs as possible to compensate for its naturally low defense-based stat. We gave it as HP EVs in order to optimize its leftovers recovery, enough special attack to be able to two-shot Garchomp with Icy Wind and reach a break point with its nature, and threw the rest into special defense.
As for what we'd change on our team if we were to build it again, we would change nothing, because our team is perfect. Just kidding, there are some flaws with our team, and here we're going to discuss some of them.
First of all, Intimidate was way more common than we thought it would be, and we were surprised by the rise of Tauros Paldea Water, in particular. Annihilape probably should have been running Defiant, but the problem with that is that would leave us very vulnerable to Amoonguses, which were also everywhere.
Well, that leads us into our next change, because one change I'd make is Terra Grass on Maushold, because Amoongus is popular and can redirect Beat Up away from Annihilape. With Terra Grass, that would not be a problem. Plus, it adds the benefit of being able to redirect Spores and just take him like a champ.
Absolutely. Another thing is that our Aura Sphere to counter Hydreigon probably was not the best option. You generally don't want Armarouge out to deal with Hydreigon. Both Meowscarada and Annihilape deal with Hydreigon much better than Armarouge. Instead, we probably want Trick Room in that slot, so we have that option to counter other Trick Room teams and also to underspeed very fast teams. So how strong is this team? Well, at San Diego, which was our first regionals, we went a cumulative 7-7. I went 3-4, and Abby went 4-3.
And the reason we did not complete all 10 of our matches is because I actually was running on no sleep at that point. I hadn't slept in like 36 hours. I was crashing hard by the end there, so we kind of had to go home early. Plus I had a flight to catch the next day, so yeah. But anyway, the moral of the story is get good sleep if you're going to a regionals. It's important.
It is important. And also, this team is excellent for laddering. I was able to finish around the 1800th mark at the end of Season 1 on the in-game ranked ladders, and Abby actually finished in the top 1000.
Yee!
And that concludes our San Diego Regional Team Report.
Let us know down in the comments what you think of this team. And also, on screen right now, we should have the rental code up if you want to try this team out yourself. I recommend it. It's a pretty solid team. Anyways, have a good one, and goodbye.